In the last section, we installed a GitHub repo that contained all the exercises and programs that we'll be working through inside this course. And then we installed the Jest command line tool with npm. Let's now take a look at the contents of this repo, and we'll also discuss what that Jest program is for. So I'm going to start up my code editor inside this directory that we just cloned, and we'll take a look at some of the files and folders inside of it. Okay, so inside of here, you'll notice two folders right here. You might notice one or two more folders after I have gone through and essentially recorded all the content of this course. But what you and I are really concerned with right now is this exercises directory. So if we open up the exercises folder, you'll see a number of subfolders inside of it. Now, for you, you're probably going to see many more folders inside of here. For me, as I'm recording this course, I decided to just keep a minimal number of folders inside of here at any given one time, so it's easier for you to understand where I'm working inside of the directory structure. Inside of each of these folders, you'll find both a index.js and a test.js file. So the idea behind these different folders is that each one represents a specific problem that we're going to work on. All the code that you and I are going to write to solve the problem will go into the index.js file of each respective problem. And then some code to test our solution has been already written for us inside of the test.js file. So if I open up test.js, you'll see some number of tests inside of here. So that Jest command line tool that we just installed is a test runner that we're going to use to evaluate all these different tests for each of these different exercises. Let's now flip back over to the command line tool and just kind of see how it works. So back at my command line, I'm going to change into the exercises directory, and then I'm going to run the Jest command. So I'll simply run Jest like so. Now when we run Jest, it's going to automatically attempt to execute every last test inside of this repository for us. So you'll see something that says like, hey, here's some number of tests that might have passed and some number that might have failed. Now, we are not going to want to really run all the tests for all the exercises every single time. Instead, we're going to usually be running one set of tests. In other words, just a set of tests for one specific problem that we're working on. In order to run one batch of tests, we're going to modify how we run that Jest command slightly. So here's what we're going to do. Let's imagine that we want to run the tests for this fib exercise right here. To run just the test for this fib exercise, we'll run the command jest fib/test.js and then / watch like so. So in other words, you will write out the test file for just the exercise that we're trying to run. Now in general, throughout the course, as we are working on each and every different one of these exercises, I will be showing you how to write the command. So you don't need to necessarily memorize this command right here. I'll be sure to show you over time how we are going to run it again and again and again, just to give you a good reminder. So if we now run this command, you'll see that we are running only the tests related to that fib problem. So I see now just 6 tests being ran, 6 tests executed, because there are 6 tests inside of this test file for the fib exercise. Now, just some other quick things to understand. Whenever you change any of the code inside the project structure, these tests will automatically rerun for us. But if for some reason you want to rerun them manually, you can press the Enter key on your keyboard, and that will rerun all these tests. Once you're done running all the tests for a particular exercise and you're ready to move on to the next one, you can always press Control-C on your keyboard, and that will stop the test runner. So if I press Control-C, that will stop the test runner like so. And then of course I can always start them back up and then exit out again by pressing Control-C again. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This is our testing setup. We're going to be using it throughout the course for each of the different problems that we end up working on. So the good thing about this test setup is that if you ever decide that you want to deviate from the course and just solve all these problems on your own, or maybe come back later on and practice the problems on your own, then hey, fantastic. You've got a bunch of tests here to make sure you're doing the correct work. So now that we have our development setup all put together, let's continue in the next section and get started on our first practice problem.